The introduction of the camel into the Sahara at the beginning of the Christian era caused a significant revolution in the desert. Horses and bullocks used before that period afforded limited mobility to the Berbers of northern fringes of the Sahara, both in their nomadism and in the commercial relations within countries to the south. The chairs depicted by rock painting across the Sahara clearly suggested trans-Saharan contacts, but according to the available evidence, the volume of trade carried over the desert had been insignificant before the introduction of the camel. This is a rock drawing from the Hagor Mountains of southwestern Libya, which indicates, at the time they were using horse and carriages in a particular area in that part of the ancient Sahara. Scholars have yet to explain why the camel had not reached the Sahara earlier than the beginning of the Christian era. Once the North African nomads became acquainted with this highly useful animal, they lost no time in adopting it. Mounted on camels, the nomad tribes, roaming beyond the lines which protected the agricultural population of Roman Africa, began to move southwards in the Sahara. They settled in the oasis in the middle of the desert and reached its southern fringes. From the earliest Arabic records, we learn of the Berber tribes inhabiting the western and central Sahara, from North Africa to Balad el-Sudan, which was the land of the blacks. We have to be careful in this particular passage. Here we have it specifically stating that the Berbers was one set of people, and then they ventured into the Balad el-Sudan, which was the land of the blacks. So there's a distinguishing between what a Berber was and what black people were. They knew when they were going into the Sudan, that was the black region or the area where, the Africanoid people could be found. So, we need to look at the DNA sequences on the Berber people who a lot of our Moorish brothers claim of fame. All right, so here we have a pilgrimage of camels. More than likely, you can see on the backs of these camels something very familiar. If you're unfamiliar with what these camels are actually carrying, this is a salt caravan. And it may be maybe 20, it could be up to 20 or more camels on these particular salt caravans, bringing in, a commodity for the trade. And look how easily they carry these big old blocks of salt. With the introduction of the camel on the rise, breeding became essential. Camels revolutionized long-distance trading due to their ability to navigate the difficult terrain in which the Sahara presented. Berbers controlled trade throughout the Sahara early on, and it was in the Sahel where most of the trade would take place. Sources of gold existed in abundance in areas south of the Sahel. As the traffic increased, so too did the possibilities for trade and the demand for gold in North Africa. Gold and salt then became the major commodities elaborating the trans-Saharan trade. Of course, other goods were also present, but never dominated the trade. The population of the Sahara was mixed. The western and central Sahara was inhabited by the people of a Berber stock, sometimes crossed with black African blood. The eastern Sahara included the Liberian desert, was also inhabited its northern part of the people of the Berber stock, while its southern part was peopled by Negroes belonging to various Tubu peoples such as the Zaghawa and the Tida and the Daza. These people reached as far north as Kufra and Tazabur oasis, around 26 degrees latitude north. Here's an image of a man footing his caravan through the Sahara. Other notable people of the Sahara were the Nubians, Kanura, the Hassa, Songhai, Beja, the Fula of Fulani, and of course the Tuareg. You think they black? African? Sub-Saharan? And I do want to say that the nomadic people are African. Black people were not the only people to populate the continent of Africa. North Africa is very tricky place. And we really need to do our due diligence on not trying to paint everything black.